the starting lineup.
Come on, son, you got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude, you got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run, or you can't play here.
It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome into the leadoff show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you caught up on all things Milwaukee Brewers. 1.5 hours before first pitch between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Los Angeles Dodgers. It'll be Clayton Kershaw on the bump for LA, going up against the phenom Jacob Mizorowski. Game number 92 of the season, game number 2 of the series. First pitch scheduled for 6:40 from American Family Field today. Welcome into the leadoff show. First thing we do on every single leadoff show, the starting lineups.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Let's start things off with the visiting Los Angeles Dodgers today, going up against Jacob Mizorowski. It is Shohei Ohtani leading things off. He is the DH. Mookie Betts at shortstop will bat second. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman, will bat third. Andy Pages is the right fielder in the cleanup spot today for LA. Michael Conforto, the left fielder, will bat fifth. Haesung Kim, the second baseman, bats sixth. Dalton Rushing is the catcher today, batting seventh. James Outman in center field will bat eighth. Miguel Rojas, the third baseman, rounds things out. He will bat ninth. Now, for the Milwaukee Brewers side, Sal Frelick to lead things off in right field. William Contreras, the catcher, will bat second. Jackson Chourio, the center fielder, will bat third. Christian Yelich is the DH, batting fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Isaac Collins in left field bats sixth. Bryce Terang at second base will bat seventh. Andrew Monasterio in the lineup again at third base today, batting eighth. Joey Ortiz rounds things out. He will bat ninth, play shortstop for the Crew. I don't know how much longer this is going to be the lineup here, even if we're just trading everyone for Ronald Acuna at this point. Maybe it'll just be Ronald Acuna versus the Dodgers next time they play later on. If you missed any of that conversation, please go back, listen to it. Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer was on just before us. Pretty much just tried to trade anyone that's exciting and fun on the Milwaukee Brewers for Ronald Acuna Jr., for a guy who, he has an MVP, but is literally hurt every other time he's ever played baseball. So I hope everyone is as fired up and ready for this Brewer game today to show all of the haters I don't need Acuna on this roster. And I'm definitely not going to do it for 12 different players on the Brewers who are the most fun and exciting 12 players that they've seen maybe of all time in their farm system right now. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM 105.7 up in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Speaking of fun and exciting, that game yesterday against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Brewers showing up. What a first inning. What an awesome performance out of Freddie Peralta on the bump. And even some newcomers making some noise in the game. We go through it every day in the first segment. It's called The Rewind.
Did you miss the last game? Did you miss what was said after the last game? It's time to rewind. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Milwaukee Brewers opening up a series with the Los Angeles Dodgers yesterday. It was Freddie Peralta going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto of LA, and the Brewers got things started off fast and early in Milwaukee. In the first inning, we saw the Brewers bat around, but I don't want to bury the lead. We'll get to it. Leading off the game, it was Sal Frelick. He doubled. William Contreras would walk. There's two men on now. We saw Jackson Chourio fly out. Christian Yelich grounds out. Then this guy named Andrew Vaughn shows up. It's his first day ever for the Milwaukee Brewers. And he decided that he was going to make it known it was his first game with the Crew.
And Vaughn sends it way back. And welcome to Milwaukee. How about that, Andrew Vaughn? Looking good in that Brewer uni. Bernie hits the slide. And Vaughn with a three-pointer into the bullpen.
3-run jack for Andrew Vaughn in his first at-bat for the Milwaukee Brewers. Highlights courtesy FanDuel Sports Network. Brian Anderson I've also been critical of in the past. Not that it's not my, it's just not my guy all the way. Great call. 3-pointer into the bullpen. I love the call back there to his basketball ways as well. He's the 5th player now, Andrew Vaughn, in franchise history to homer in his first plate appearance with the team. You got to go back to 2006. Gabe Gross. You remember how great that worked out for the Milwaukee Brewers. The first inning wasn't even over at this point. Isaac Collins singles. Bryce Terang walks. Caleb Durbin beats out a throwing error by Mookie Betts for another run to come across. Then Andrew Monasterio, staying hot at the plate, got in on the RBI action.
There goes Durbin. Pitches a little flare into right field. Falling fast. It is down. 1 run is in. Terang. Durbin will stop at third. It's an RBI single for Monasterio.
It was 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, 2 walks for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. After 9 batters faced, he was out of the game completely in inning number 1 after Andrew Monasterio made it 5-0 on that RBI single. Later on in this game, Freddie Peralta continuing to deal. He had a monster day at the plate as well. Freddie goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. One day after learning he is the lone Brewers all-star for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he shows out against the best lineup maybe in all of baseball. But on the offensive side, later on in this game, we jump to the 5th inning in which we saw Bryce Terang come through with a 2 RBI single.
And Terang delivers with a base hit. In to score Contreras. Right behind him, Vaughn, he's in there.
Andrew Vaughn showing off the wheels a little bit too. That would make it 7-0 in favor of Milwaukee. And just for a little extra added oomph onto this game, how about Christian Yelich launching his 18th long fly of the season?
Or launch one into left center. This is way back. Goodbye. There's your answer. Christian Yelich, opposite field blast, his 18th. And now Dave Roberts can use a position player. 9-0 Brewers.
That's the thing about baseball. You can't ask.
Yes, and now with 2 innings of work here, Aaron Ashby came in, pitched a clean 7th inning. In the 8th, he did give up a little bit of traffic. Ohtani singled to lead things off. We saw then with 2 outs, he had a walk. And then Esteury Ruiz, former Brewers great, if you remember him, was then able to single, bring Ohtani in, made it 9-1. It didn't matter. Game was over from that point on. Brewers improve to 51-40 on the season. Dodgers down to 56-36. Freddie Peralta picking up the victory, 10-4 now on the season. That leads the National League in wins. Yoshinobu Yamamoto 8-7 after picking up the loss on the season. Who was the MVP of the game? Let's go over it.
Who was the MVP of the last game for the Crew? Who stood out the most? Let's find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan.
Took me a while to do this, but think we got to go co-MVPs on this. Pretty sure this is the first time. First time in 91 games that we've done this. Co-MVPs. But you got to give some love to Andrew Vaughn. Homering in your first AB with the new ball club. Had a great day as well. Was 1 for 2. The 3-run blast. Able to draw a walk. Ended up getting pinch hit for with Jake Bowers. But Andrew Vaughn, you got to give him credit for that. Aaron Savale, the return. for the Chicago White Sox. I'm sure they love that deal now after seeing one at-bat of Andrew Vaughn with the Milwaukee Brewers. And Freddie Peralta, we read his line, 6 innings, 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, no runs, just 1 walk in the game. Also turning up the velocity, pitched up to 99 miles an hour yesterday. I didn't even know Freddie had that in him. I heard something that it was, I believe, 3 of his 10 fastest pitches ever were in 1 inning of the game yesterday. Freddie Peralta looked awesome. He spoke to the media after the game as well. Here is yesterday's MVP, Freddie Peralta.
What was your game plan against them?
We talk about it, but I want to be myself tonight and just try to execute my pitches. I didn't try to do too much.
How much really important just the challenge of facing this lineup? I mean, was this start any different going in than any other one?
Yeah, normally, before the games, I have my routine and all that, but today was a little different because I was like thinking. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking how I'm gonna handle this lineup. Having Ohtani leading off is not easy, and it's hard to have a leadoff guy kind of like him. I was just competing out there. And like I said, I didn't try to do too much. I was trying just to execute my pitches.
It's a pretty patient lineup over there. They don't chase a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. What's the challenge of facing guys like that, and what does that mean for how you have to go after them?
Exactly. I knew that, exactly what you say. I knew that they weren't going to chase a lot of pitches, and that's why I didn't miss a lot with my fastball on the top today, because I knew that probably I was going to put myself in trouble, and I didn't want that. And I just told William, we gotta do what I need to do, and a lot of credit for him because he did a great job behind the plate, and he helped me to go through the lineup.
When you're going against another all-star pitcher, is there a heightened sense of competitiveness on your side?
Yeah, it is. It gave me more more strength, like mentally strength, because we know that it's probably going to be a very close game. Talking about, the score and all that. It didn't go that way today, but, that's what you were expecting. And I knew that we had Yamamoto on the other side, who is great and, probably one of the best pitchers right now. And I knew that I had to do what I had to do because, he's great.
Do you think that's the best lineup you've seen this year?
I think. Yes, I think.
I would say it is the best lineup you faced this year, Freddie. There is Freddie Peralta speaking to the media after the game. That audio courtesy Adam McCalvey on Twitter. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And Freddie Peralta, as I just mentioned there, that is his 5th consecutive win dating back to June 13th. He is the first Brewers pitcher with 5 wins in 5 straight games in a season since himself back in 2023. He picked up his 10th win of the season in the contest yesterday. His 9 wins were tied for the league. Now he is the sole leader in the National League in wins right now. This is the 3rd consecutive year now he's recorded double-digit wins. Last year, he had 11. 2 years ago, he had 12. He is one of 5 Brewers pitchers since 2000 to have 3 or more 10-win seasons in a row. Ben Sheets, Doug Davis, Giovanni Gallardo, Corbin Burns. That appearance marked his 4th scoreless start this season, and it's his first one since June 8th against San Diego. An amazing game from Freddie Peralta, and his season stats now looking amazing during the time as well, as he's now 10-4, 2.74 ERA, 111 strikeouts, a whip at 1.09 right now for Freddie. And at home, he has been lights out, unconscious. He's 6-0 at home with a 1.56 ERA during that time with 55 strikeouts. Freddie Peralta at American Family Field has been electric this season. And all the doubters, all the haters, trying to say he could not be an ace. If you didn't get on that train, well, thank you. If you want to jump on our train of Freddie Peralta can be a legitimate ace in Major League Baseball, We are a welcoming community. I promise. You can absolutely jump on the bandwagon with us. But Freddie Peralta has been lights out, nails so far for the Milwaukee Brewers this year, with all the chaos that has come from the starting pitching. Not that it has been bad or poor by any means from the Milwaukee Brewers, but you're talking about the injuries from the beginning part of the year, whether it was Savale or Nestor Cortez, and then you had to deal with the ups and downs of some of these young arms where you bring in Chad Patrick, Logan Henderson, whatever it is, to come up and then be ultimately sent back down once things have settled a little bit. The one constant has been Freddie Peralta this season. Every fifth day ready to go, through some injury. It does not matter. This guy has been a stud all season for the Milwaukee Brewers, deservingly an all-star thanks to his performance so far this season. Christian Yelich also extended his on-base streak now to 19 games with the team-leading 18th homer on the season entering play. Yelich's streak is now second best in the National League of on-base in consecutive games. Since his streak began on June 15th, he is batting .355. He has a .395 on base, and a .632 slugging. 11 extra base hits during that time, 21 RBIs, and he is now 9 runs away from 1,000 in his career, as he is his career for a major league ball player, not just with the Brewers. He's been on fire as well. Top part of the order has been really coming together. We did learn earlier today, if you guys missed some of the news, I know we talked about it on Wisconsin Sports Daily right away at the top of the hour. Rhys Hoskins expected to be out for at least a month and some change now, based on his latest diagnosis of a sprain in the thumb. He is expected to try to make a return mid to late August, it sounds like now at the time. Not sure what we're going to get out of the first base production while Rhys Hoskins is gone, but he was slumping pretty hard since June. He batted .150 in June, wasn't getting hot. It really felt like here to start things off in July. Not to say that they would love to see Rhys Hoskins gone for a month, but it's not the Rhys Hoskins that he was hitting like he was in May and in April, where he was really the only piece of the offense that could do anything for the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, Brewers are looking to go to a season-high 12 games over 500 if they are to win today. Currently 3.5 back in the NL Central after that game yesterday. They are in sole possession of the second wild card spot in the National League. New York is atop of them by 1 game, 52-39 for New York. Milwaukee 51-40, and a half a game ahead of San Francisco, who is 50-42. Sorry, a full game in front of San Francisco, 50-42. One of the best records in baseball since May 25th. Continue to say that. 26-12 over that stretch. That is the best in the National League. It's only behind Houston and Toronto right now. The Brewers absolutely cruising right now in this stretch since May 25th. How about the manager, Pat Murphy? What did he have to say after the Brewers' huge win over the Los Angeles Dodgers yesterday? Here is the skipper after the 9-1 victory over Los Angeles.
Murph, it was a dominant pitching performance from your entire staff, but just what do you make of your ace and how he started it all off?
Yeah, Freddie was sensational. Gave up a cheap hit to open up the game. It's unfortunate. We bared down, big double play, and then he just attacked after that. He attacked with all 3 pitches, and that's a great lineup, maybe the best lineup in baseball. And he attacked and proved, to himself and to all of us, like he can withstand it. And tonight he was sensational.
Bond starting that double play in the top of the first, then homer in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, he didn't know he was playing. He didn't know he was playing until he landed today, and then he didn't think he was playing against a right-hander because he knows our team, and he thought Bowers was playing, but I told him he was playing first day, batting 5th, and just get the first, man. I don't care what else you do, just get the first and play defense. And I said, I know you're slow, so don't worry about base running. He goes, I know you guys steal a lot of bases. You kind of know I don't run very good. I'm like, yeah, you don't run at all. We just get the first, and we'll move you around. I didn't expect him to homer, but that's great. Great opening act.
Art, what can a moment like that do for a player to settle in the first day and you want to make a good impression right on a team?
Yeah, I mean, it helps. So it helps because, he doesn't know anybody in our organization. We just picked him up, and then he was sent him to AAA, and it was kind of a big deal media-wise because Vaughn has a history in the big leagues and has done well. But to have him show up first day, not know anybody at noon, and then he's in there, and then kind of get a huge hit in the first inning that kind of opened things up was, a great way to say, here I am, so.
The transition, though, isn't easy for anybody. What are you looking for? Are you looking for confidence? Are you looking at how he interacts with people? Other than just getting the first, what else were you looking for?
Well, that's kind of like a simplistic way of saying it, just get the first, like this, don't try to prove too much. Don't try to do too much. Don't leave the zone. Don't try to prove that you belong. There's an injury to one of our important players and you're getting this shot. Make the advantage of it. Don't try to do too much. But he's a big leaguer. This guy's been in the big leagues for a while, and he kind of scuffled this year. They sent him to AAA. That happens in your career. Hitting's very, very difficult. So we're very familiar with this player, and that's why the front office felt comfortable picking him up, and he's given us a nice lift. Hopefully, it continues.
Murph, did any of the other plate appearances in that first inning stand out to you as you guys drove?
I thought we drove the pitch count up. Sal opening the game. Contreras' walk is underrated. Then Collins backed up the homer with a single. Then Terang walk. That's another key one. Those two walks extended. They were sitting out there a long time, and then we got another blue pit after the error. Then they quiet us down a little bit. But again, two walks, an infield hit, and then another hit. That's how we scored our other runs. That's how we have to play. We have to take our walks when they're there. We have to run the bases, play defense, take your walks, then you get a knock, and then you get another knock, and all of a sudden, and then once in a while you pop one. So that's who we have to be.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media after the 9-1 victory over the Los Angeles Dodgers. That audio courtesy FanDuel Sports Network. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you caught up on all things Milwaukee Brewers baseball as they are set to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers for game number 2 of the series after a very successful night 1 against the Dodgers. The Brewers looking to get on the board again in the win column. It does not come without some challenge. However, Clayton Kershaw will be on the bump going up against Jacob Mizorowski, and we have some pretty fun, interesting numbers to look at here comparing Jacob Mizorowski versus Clayton Kershaw. We will do that on the other side. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Line drive, base hit, down the left field line.
Let's see what the skipper has to say heading into today's game. Let's head to the Coach's Corner. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan.
Welcome back to the leadoff show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you caught up all things Brewers versus Dodgers. Game 2 today from American Family Field. Before we get into what we heard in some pregame coverage from Rhys Hoskins and from Pat Murphy, let me run down the Milwaukee Brewers lineup again for you guys here today. Sal Frelick in right field will lead things off. William Contreras catching will bat second. Jackson Chourio, the center fielder, bats third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Isaac Collins in left field bats sixth. Bryce Terang at second base batting seventh. Andrew Monasterio, the third baseman, batting eighth. Joey Ortiz returns back to the lineup today for the Crew. He is the shortstop and bats ninth. Big matchup today for the Milwaukee Brewers as they are set to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it is a legend of the game, Clayton Kershaw, maybe one of the best left-handed pitchers of all time in the history of the game. Just reached his 3,000th strikeout mark the last time he went out. Just the fourth pitcher ever to do that from the left-handed side in Major League Baseball. And he's been around for quite some time. And now he is going up against a prospect and a young superstar in Jacob Misiorowski that everyone is excited to talk about in Major League Baseball as well. They have comparisons, something that looks like this, right? MLB service time. This is Clayton Kershaw's 17th year in Major League Baseball. It's actually, he has 17 years of MLB service time, so it's his 18th year in the MLB. He's 37. Misiorowski is 23. Miz has 27 days of service time. 19 innings and 19 2/3 innings for Jacob Misiorowski versus 2,787 innings from Clayton Kershaw in his career now. 441 games compared to 4 games. 3 wins versus 216 wins. Clayton Kershaw, 3 Cy Young Awards, 1 MVP as well. This is the best one right here. 313 pitches is how many pitches that Jacob Misiorowski has thrown in his career. Clayton Kershaw, 42,128 pitches. These all come from the game notes here from the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, what a career from the stud. And I'm super excited to see him pitch. Another guy who's been a Dodger for life, so it's kind of been tough to root for him during these stages, but cannot doubt the greatness that is Clayton Kershaw so far for his career. Now, we said we were going to get to some pregame sound here for you, and we learned yesterday that Rhys Hoskins was going to be hitting the IL for 10 days. That was his 10-day IL for Rhys Hoskins. Well, it's not going to be 10 days. Rhys Hoskins said in this sound that I'm about to play for you here, maybe mid to late August is a good time to shoot for in his return. I'll let Rhys fill you in on the details along the way. Here is Rhys Hoskins speaking to the media before today's contest.
Have in my head what my goal is to hopefully rejoin this team. But, you know, I'll be doing my work in the quiet, helping these guys as much as I can off the field so that we can continue our push towards the playoff.
Is there any sense of like how long you'll be shut down from activities while you get treatment?
Every case is so different, obviously, but I'll probably be in a splint for a couple weeks, and at that point, just some strengthening, and after that comes the baseball activity. So at least a couple weeks.
Have you ever dealt with this kind of injury before, thumb, hand, or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
First baseman make that play off, and it's sort of one of the hazards of that play, isn't it?
Yeah, just part of the game, unfortunately. The timing of the play didn't allow me to, I guess, tag him in a safer manner. But again, like you said, that's a part of the game. It's a part of the position. That type of play is expected of us over there to try to help out our infielders as much as we can.
You've dealt with injuries in the past. What's the level of disappointment now when you factor in like the timing of this with the team, pushing for a playoff spot, getting close to the All-Star break?
Yeah, every time you don't get to be on the field, it's disappointing. Obviously, the length of this makes it more disappointing, but like you said, we're seems like we're finding our footing as a group. We're playing some really good baseball. We're playing really good teams in this next month or so. So bummed to be not out there with these guys competing for our goal.
Reese, is there a level of positivity though, just because it's not season ending and there is like light to the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, of course, right? Like there is still baseball to be played this year. I guess it always could be worse in that sense. So I'll definitely be, disappointed for the next couple of days, but after that, it's eyes forward and doing what I can to rejoin them earlier rather than later.
Were you surprised by the severity and the length of the timetable for recovery, considering afterwards you said, we'll see how it feels the next day? You seemed like, hey, I could be up fine tomorrow.
Yeah, that was after X-ray. I hadn't got an MRI yet. The initial, exam didn't really call for that. But obviously, the more information you get, just the clearer the picture becomes. So, just disappointed, no matter what. Even if it was 10 days, I'd be disappointed. But 6 weeks is definitely more disappointing.
How'd you like Andrew Vaughn coming in and announcing his arrival the way he did yesterday?
Yeah, it's great, man. I've obviously, been across the diamond from him for a couple of years. I remember him as a college player. Everybody knows he can hit, but he's just stoked to, join this type of energy, especially with how we've been playing. Obviously, we got a great crowd last night, playing a great team. So it's pretty cool to see him soak in that moment and come through for us, right? Like it's an all-star pitcher over there, and really kind of powered that surge for us.
There is Rhys Hoskins speaking to the media earlier today. That audio from Andrew Wagner. He will join the leadoff show later on, 6:15. We will talk to Andrew Wagner of Forbes Sports. Joins the leadoff show each and every day. Austin Herdina will join at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. We'll make a nice little parlay for the people, get you guys caught up on what's happening over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I wonder if this Rhys Hoskins injury puts any pressure on the Milwaukee Brewers or the front office to add another bat somewhere in this lineup. Now, again, Rhys Hoskins was struggling for the better part of a month now with the Milwaukee Brewers, but it's no shock that they're going to miss some pop, probably, with Rhys Hoskins out of the lineup. Andrew Vaughn, that was an awesome moment, as Rhys Hoskins commented on it in the back end there. To homer in your first AB with the team, after your last team, you were the number 3 overall pick with the Chicago White Sox, and they gave up on you. They traded you for a veteran, serviceable, at best, starting pitcher in a 1-for-1 deal. And then to have that moment where another team believes in you during this, that's awesome. That's a great moment for Andrew Vaughn. But how confident are we that Andrew Vaughn and Jake Bauers, who I have praised many a times on these airwaves, can make up for what Rhys Hoskins does with the bat in his hands? I don't know. I don't necessarily believe that it is a set deal that there will be any pressure on the Brewers front office to make a trade. But obviously now with Hoskins hitting the IL, I don't see he can't be moved, obviously. And then we will have to see what the Milwaukee Brewers do to combat that, if they're just going to stick with Vaughn and Bauers, which, hey, 1-0 in games where Andrew Vaughn starts. We'll see how it goes. Ride it out as long as the success keeps coming. Sorry about that. Let's hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, earlier. He spoke to the media as well. Drew Wagner hooked it up with this sound. Here is Pat Murphy's pregame coverage.
Al, what has he meant to the team this year, the way y'all have been hitting, and just the organization, the contributions he's made?
Al LaBeouf?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough being new in the big leagues. It's very difficult. If it's your first time in the big leagues as a coach, it's a very big adjustment. And Al has been open-minded, and you know, everybody who knows him loves him. You know, he's a guy who you can see that he's a baseball lifer and that he's passionate about his information. And we've really enjoyed having him, and look forward to him to getting back as soon as possible.
Pat, for Miz tonight, because of the way that he started out, is this almost kind of a telling performance for him because he hasn't really struggled, and now you get a chance to see how the guy bounces back and
Responds
and rebounds?
I mean, they're all big for him. I mean, he's a rookie in the big leagues with he garnered a lot of attention because he was so good. So you're going to have that, and so it's not about living up to it; it's about performance. And you know, we just want the consistency, and it'll all settle in. You know, this isn't a telling performance; it's just it'll all settle in whatever way it does, and we'll keep going forward.
What do you think, Mark, when you see the matchup? You see 37, 15
Yeah,
years
yeah,
in the
yeah.
big leagues.
It's kinda cool.
And a guy just getting
It's kinda
started. It's unique.
Yeah, once the game starts, though, you're just in a different mode. You know what I mean? You got your chin strap buckled, and it's just a different mode. You know, Kershaw's an acquaintance, and I respect the hell out of him. And yeah, for a couple hours here, I'm not going to like him too much. So.
Is it just kind of like the paths you guys have traveled as you've gotten to know
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
or
I mean, I've been here for 10 years, so I mean, we've seen each other and talked and seen each other in the off season, and he's big into his family, and I recognize that, and see him around his kids, and he loves baseball and he loves talking about it. So we've had a couple chats here and there.
Do you think with the way the game is evolving, and the more that we've learned now about pitchers and health and metrics, do you think we'll see someone put up the longevity and the kind of numbers that?
Yeah, I do. I think we're on the verge of a lot of greatness, but it won't be just about the numbers. It'll be about doing what Kershaw does, which is knowing how to pitch, and doing what Kershaw does, which is knowing how to compete, and knowing how to survive in this game and become great in this game. You know, we're going to have those pitchers again. You know, because the guys that rise to the top compete. You know, guys that rise to the top don't just go on talent. There's a mindset that comes with it, and this guy's demonstrated it for years.
Would that require, though, like some industry to kind of reconfigure the way they?
It'll reset itself.
pitching?
It'll reset itself. I mean, you know, arsenal development is not pitching. You know, and our pitching coaches will tell you that. Arsenal development's important, like anything else. You know, you can't run the 100-yard or 100-meter race in the Olympics if you don't develop your speed to its peak, and you got to be at a certain level. So the arsenal has to be a certain way, but then you got to learn how to. The ones who win are the ones who understand how to compete and understand how to respond to failure, understand how to immediately respond, relentlessly. You know, and that's all the things Kershaw does. So, yeah, I think there'll be other guys that understand that. The guys that will win are the mindset guys. Those are the guys that's what the tipping point is in all this, for sure. It's not even close. It's not debatable. You know what I mean? Talent does bring you a certain point, but there has to be more with it.
Do you have any sense yet about where Miz is on that journey? Like,
He's just broken the shell, man. He's just out of the egg, and he's you know, all arms and legs. You know, that just broke out. He's still got gooey stuff coming off him. You can see it, right? All arms and legs, and yeah. But there's something special about him. Something special about him. I'm excited for him. All these opportunities, the way it's happening for him, is really neat. So.
It does seem like all of his starts have like some story to them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's New York, it's Paul Skeens, it's First Road, the debut.
Right. The Miz, kind of cool.
What do you think that last outing taught him about himself?
I don't know that. I think he's learned that, like, wow, I handled it. Here I am again. That went quick. You know, that didn't last long. meaning the time in between to think about it. You got to get busy preparing for your next one, and I think he's just maturing. That's part of it. You just kind of learn that when you fall off the branch, wow, I better take better care of my balance there, or I'll fall. So I think like anybody else, when they're maturing, they're learning about it. And I think that he'll be back to compete again. I think there's that good competitor in there. I see it in him. We'll find out.
Murph, with the news on Reese now and like more clarity on the timeline, do you anticipate platooning Vaughn and Jake, or do you want
some version of that?
Some version of that.
Some version, yeah. I mean,
it's a long time to navigate.
Yeah, Vaughn versus Yamamoto last night. I just felt like Yamamoto's kind of an even split guy, but he just got off the plane, no time to think. He's back in the big leagues. I just thought it was the right move, and it worked out. So, will he always face right-handers? No, maybe not. We got a pretty capable guy in Bowers, so he's done a lot for us, kind of quietly done a lot for us. So, I'm very comfortable with Bowers out there.
Murph, is Durbin dealing with anything, given,
He's dealing with a lot of things, like breaking into the big leagues, you know what I mean? First time in the big leagues and dealing with all that comes with it. You mean because I didn't play him today?
Well, even calling up Siegler and adding more depth on the infield and playing a lefty today, not in there, so just checking his health, making sure he's feeling good.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good. He was in there doing a Sudoku, so he seemed pretty healthy.
Did you feel like you got feedback from Joey yesterday, or did anything come after yesterday of just being able to watch the game again?
I talked to him. I understand. This is all about conviction. If you're going to be a big league player, you got to play with conviction. And I'm just ensuring that he understands that I'm adamant about playing with conviction. Tentativeness and all that kind of stuff. We're not good enough to be tentative. You know what I mean? So, let's be convicted. So. You guys ask the questions, I answer. I'm sorry it plays out in the media. I hope I didn't hurt his feelings. Gosh, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
I have no feelings.
It's the way it should be. No feelings. Behavior counts. Feelings,
If we learn that about you, though, that you'll tell a guy what you think, and you're not going to do the kid.
Not always. Not always. Not always. A lot of times I don't say what I think. But
there's different. Something you said last year, you have to love different people in different ways.
Yeah, I think you do. And I'm not real good at it necessarily all the time, and I'm trying to be, but I'll own when I, maybe don't, I don't know, treat them the right way or whatever. But it's authentic, I promise you.
Something that we've heard you talk about throughout the last couple of years, guys in the clubhouse have talked about it too. The value of having a base stealing threat on base, trying to get more fastballs for the guy at the plate. Do you guys have any numbers or data that you guys get that shows that you get more fastballs when you have a steal threat on?
That's funny. I don't think you could prove it even if you could prove it, because then it's, well, wait a minute, what does this guy throw there anyway? And the threat of the steal, if you sit down with pitchers after they're not in the fight anymore, they never want to sometimes admit it while they're going through it, but the threat of the steal, the threat of the bunt, the positioning of the infielders, that all mixed together creates some trepidation. And then pitchers start maybe rushing to the plate a little more. Now they're normally a 1-4, now they're a 1-2-2. And we laugh. We're like, God, that's good. Because the execution of the pitch may be different. Might not be, but it may be. How much do we know that? I don't know. Like, how many times did we fake bunt last year and hit a home run in the same at bat? I think there was 6. Someone told me that. I don't know. Mike tried to look it up, but he's still working on that one. It's only a year and a half now. But there's an effect, and I don't think you can measure it. Like, I think the things that are most important in this game, the difference makers, aren't necessarily measurable. Some of them are, but not all of them.
kind of flipping that around then, from your perspective, for your pitchers, is there anything you guys do, or what's it like for them trying to stay consistent? Like if they have a base stealing threat on, how do you try to
Charlie Green's job, holding runners, fielding their position. It's his whole job. That's his number one thing on his job description as the bullpen coach. Holding runners, pitchers fielding their position. He does a lot more for us, but those two things he knows I'm adamant. He charts it. He keeps track of it. He analyzes it. He talks to him every day about it. It's overdone here. But look at I don't know the numbers, and I'm glad I don't. But I know the reality of we don't give up very many. Am I right? Are we good at that?
We're looking at it.
I think we're
I'll get back to that.
Yeah, I think we're really good at it.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media earlier today. That audio courtesy of Drew Wagner. He'll join the show at 6:15 today. Just wanted to do a quick little search here because I liked what Pat Murphy had to say. And I know we got to get to a break here, but just out of curiosity, the Milwaukee Brewers getting runners on, right? And how they fare when you get more fastball counts, if you have the base running threat on. And the Brewers this season, as a team, they're batting .247 as a team. When you get a runner on base, the Milwaukee Brewers improve to .260. That's a significant jump as a team. 13 points on the batting average. That's the difference in a lot right there for the Milwaukee Brewers. So good to see that there is some data that supports that. And Pat Murphy, I mean, just everyone visualizing Jacob Mizorowski popping out of an egg after that image he painted with his words. Coming up, let's get to our Building a Winner feature presented by Ironworkers Local 8. So excited to get to talk about the minor leagues after the last show on before me tried to just trade every single person that is fun and exciting to talk about in the Building a Winner feature for Ronald Acuna. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
A winner in baseball is a strong minor league system. Who are the names we should know? How did they play in their last game? It's time for Building a Winner, powered by Ironworkers Local 8. Apply today at IWL8.org and join the Brotherhood building Milwaukee's skyline. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Yes, time for another Building a Winner feature presented by Ironworkers Local 8. Quickly, let me run down the Milwaukee Brewers starting lineup today. Sal Frelick in right field. William Contreras is catching. Jackson Chourio in center field. That's the top three. Christian Yelich, the DH. Andrew Vaughn at first base. Isaac Collins in left field will be 4 through 6. Bryce Terang will bat 7th, play second base. Andrew Monasterio, the third baseman, batting 8th. Joey Ortiz, the shortstop, rounds things out. He bats 9th. After being benched the last 2 days, back in the lineup for the Crew. Off days in minor league baseball yesterday as AAA through low A all not in action on Mondays. However, a couple of news and notes I want to talk about with the Brewers farm right now today. For instance, I can't remember now if we talked about this yesterday, but there was, however, 2 Brewers pitchers to receive Minor League Pitcher of the Week awards yesterday for last week's performances. One of them, Tobias Myers. Remember him, right? International League Pitcher of the Week last week. He had 6 scoreless innings and had just 2 hits in his last outing on September 4th against the Memphis Redbirds. Today, Nashville will be taking on the Durham Bulls. Bruce Zimmerman on the bump for Nashville. Biloxi Shuckers are back today. Alex Cornelli pitching for them as they will take on the Birmingham Barons. That is the Chicago White Sox AA affiliate. Durham Bulls, Tampa Bay's AAA affiliate, in case you did not know, wanted to know that. Wisconsin Timber Rattlers taking on the South Bend Cubs. I bet you can guess who that affiliate is. Sam Garcia will toe the slab in Game 1. That is in Appleton. First pitch also 6:40 today. And the Carolina Mudcats will have Wandy Torres on the bump going up against the Fredericksburg Nationals. Again, the Nationals low A affiliate. Yesterday, Complex League was in action. They are now 24-24 after losing 9-4 to the Complex League Giants. Josh Adam Chesky, really the man to be noted. 2 for 4, a double, 2 runs scored, a walk in the game. He is currently in the Brewers' top 20 prospects, according to MLB Pipeline. The DSL teams, we saw DSL Blue fall. That one, Josep Ospino had 5 strikeouts in 3 innings of relief. They lost 6-2 to the DSL Brewers Gold team, who would win in the game. Jonathan Rangel is the team leader in RBIs currently for the Dominican Summer League with 17 on the season. Picked up 1 more in the game yesterday. Now, the DSL Blue and Gold teams were in action as well today. Complex League will start things off at 8 p.m. as well tonight. Brewers Farm currently falling a little bit right now down the rankings as far as the standings, that is, for the organization. Still the 3rd best in the National League, 6th best overall in baseball, 231 and 192 on the season. That other player/pitcher of the week goes to Micaeus Mercedes. He was the Arizona Complex League pitcher of the week. 1 hit in 6 innings for the Complex League Brewers against the Complex League Rangers last week as well. This Building a Winner feature brought to you by Ironworkers Local 8, building Milwaukee's future, one beam at a time. Coming up, we're going to talk to Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll get some of his thoughts on what might be the best bets for today, not Mookie bets, that is. And, of course, Andrew Wagner joining the program from Forbes Sports at 6:15, presented by Focus Baseball. We'll get his insight on what you can expect from the Brewers today and how things went yesterday as they beat the Dodgers 9-1. Looking ahead now at Game 2, Clayton Kershaw versus Jacob Mizorowski on the bump. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM 105.7 up in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
At the wall, looking up, see you later.
Let's get the latest on today's odds for the game. What's the best way to go? Let's check in with our expert from the Potawatomi Sportsbook to find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you. Other side of the 6 o'clock hour now. Brewers set to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Game number 2 of the series. Just under 40 minutes now before we get over to Austin Herdina of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let me run down the Milwaukee Brewers lineup again for you guys here today. Sal Frelick in right field leads things off. William Contreras is catching, batting second. Jackson Chourio bats third, and he's in center field. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat fourth. Andrew Vaughn, the new first baseman, batting fifth. Isaac Collins in left field bats sixth. Bryce Terang at second base will bat seventh today. Andrew Monasterio, the third baseman, will bat eighth. Joey Ortiz rounds things out. He is the shortstop, batting ninth for the Crew. Joining the show now, as he does each and every day on the Gruber Law Office's fan guest hotline, it is the Sportsbook manager over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, manager of the quarter, one time running, and more to come, I am sure. Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Austin, good evening. How are we doing today, my friend?
Good evening. We're doing excellent. Looking forward to this pitching matchup tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Clayton Kershaw, Jacob Mizorowski, it's awesome to see. You know, Kershaw, you know, it's been tough because he's been with the Dodgers to root for him, but I mean, you go through his numbers. This is his 18th year. He just hit 3,000 strikeouts. You know, he's got a career ERA of like 2.5 from the starting pitching side of things. An absolute legend. And he gets to go up against the phenom, Jacob Mizorowski, who got roughed up a little bit in his last start, Austin. Now we got to see what he can do to bounce back.
Yeah, Mizorowski, I think he'll bounce back. He's obviously facing, you know, one of the toughest lineups there is. But at home, I think we're going to have a pretty big crowd. A lot of people this week have been hearing about going to the game, wanting to see this matchup of Kershaw and Mizorowski.
Yeah.
And Kershaw, 3,000 strikeouts in a career. Yeah, that's something that I've heard people talk about. They don't know if there's going to be another pitcher to reach 3,000 the way the game has changed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Chris Sale is close. If he can pitch till he's 40, like then he would probably get it. But yeah, as far as right now, what we've seen out of Clayton Kershaw, I mean, historic stuff, legend status for sure for the Southpaw in LA. Austin Herdina joining the leadoff show. We're going to go through a nice little parlay for the people, get you some of the best bets for the Game 2 of Mizorowski and Clayton Kershaw. Austin, I'm going to be surprised. I'm a little surprised, honestly, at the money line today. It is pretty even. It's minus 105. It just went down a tick for the Milwaukee Brewers versus minus 113 of the LA Dodgers. It's a close enough matchup where it makes me feel like it's a little interesting for that. 1.5 run line at minus 186 for the Brewers, and the over-under set at 8.5, kind of high today, it feels like, with two studs on the bump. What are you looking at today to start off a nice little parlay for the people on your most popular bets, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing is just a lot of people, you know, a lot of hype around Mizorowski and a lot of people that feel like Kershaw may not have much left in his tank. You know, when the season started, Kershaw wasn't even necessarily, you know, a top 5 starter on that team.
Yeah.
You know, they've gone through a lot of injuries, and that's really what's put him in the position he's been in right now. So yeah, for tonight, I'm going to go with the Brewers again. I just feel like this team is, you know, the Dodgers have lost 4 in a row now. Brewers, you know, they spanked them yesterday.
Yeah.
Just put 5 up in the first inning right away.
Yeah, didn't even let Yamamoto finish the first inning.
Oh, that was awesome. Love to see it.
Looking at another thing to pair with it today, if we take Brewers minus 105, I do like those odds for Milwaukee today. Like I said, it's just the minus odds against the Dodgers today makes me feel like there's something in the air, and I'm enjoying seeing that. And we go off of vibes as well on this show, and that's my vibe today, and that's what I like. But that's why you are the Sportsbook manager, and I host a radio show and talk to you at least. What are we thinking to pair with that today? If the Brewers win, what's another leg of the parlay that people should know about?
I like getting some hits. So Yelich and Chourio to each get a hit. You put those together with a Brewers win, and that's plus 230. It's something where, you know, Yelich, if you want to look at his home run prop, 3 straight games against the Dodgers, he's hit a home run now. that's just an interesting little streak, too.
Well, Austin, are you aware of how much success he has against Clayton Kershaw in his career? Because I have not read this yet, but it's a great segue as well. 9 for 25. That's a 360 career batting average for Christian Yelich. He's also taken him deep twice. It is the best batting average against Clayton Kershaw for someone who has homered off of Clayton Kershaw in Major League Baseball. He has a lot of success off of him.
Yes, plus 650 to hit a home run tonight. Pretty good odds for someone that's, hit a home run 3 straight games against the Dodgers and those kind of numbers against Kershaw. Normally, you talk about lefty on lefty, you don't necessarily have that power. But Yelich can spray it all over the yard. He doesn't just pull. He's not just a pull hitter. So.
Yeah. It's a nice little sprinkle today on the bet in case you wanted to get in on some action. But the parlay for the people today that we have, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, it is the Brewers money line, Yelich to get a hit, Chourio to get a hit. It is plus 230 over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook if you go place that bet right now. Austin, what else is going on over at Potawatomi people need to know about? Your NBA Summer League action, like you said. There's plenty of bets up there. There's Wimbledon. What else going on over at Potawatomi people should know about?
Yeah, as far as the Sportsbook time goes, it's kind of the dog days of summer right now, right? We don't have football. We don't have a lot of those winter sports and that go into spring. So we're looking at baseball every day. And NBA Summer League, WNBA, we just have it all. Soccer, obviously. You think of any sort of bets, any sort of thing you want to bet on, come into the Sportsbook, check it out. Just hit up one of our kiosks. You can see everything that's starting. There's a starting soon icon, and it'll literally show you everything starting in the next 15 minutes or the next hour or the next 4 hours. You can see everything coming up. Anything live. If you want to place a bet right now on something that's happening right now, you can do that too. Just hit the live icon. So many options. Just head to Potawatomi. And if you want to go online and reserve seats at all for any events coming up, go to Potawatomi.com, go to Sportsbook, and go to reservations, and you'll put money down towards the deposit of your food and beverage.
Austin, have you ever dabbled in table tennis bets? You guys have 71 table tennis bets available if you want to watch something like that. Anything beginning tonight at 8 o'clock. Do you have any lean on Tomas Barta versus Jakub Tasler today? It's incredible. You find a sport, you can think of it. There's cricket bets. You got boxing in the future here. Motorsports, there's a few bets. Everything over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Austin, thank you so much for jumping on today. Have a great rest of your day, my friend. And, of course, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.
There he is, Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, joining the leadoff show as he does each and every day. His parlay, again, for the people, in case you were wondering, pays plus 230. It is Brewers money line, a.k.a. Brewers win. Yelich and Chourio to get a hit. That's all that needs to happen. Yelich and Chourio to get a hit, and the Brewers win. It'll pay plus 230 over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And we gave even a little sprinkle of Christian Yelich to hit a home run today at plus 650. And you just heard those stats of what he's done against Clayton Kershaw in his career. 2 homers with a 360 career average in 25 ABs against the soon-to-be first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, soon as you can once you get out of here. But Clayton Kershaw, he's not the same Clayton Kershaw as he is of old. And you look at these numbers where it is 4-0 this season with a 3.43 ERA. The 3.43 is one of the worst of Clayton Kershaw's career right now. It's quite gross to go look at the baseball reference page of Clayton Kershaw. And I know we're a leadoff show for the Milwaukee Brewers, but his career, 79.7 WAR, so he's going to hit 80 by the end of the year. 2.52 career ERA in 2,700 innings right now. Just gross stuff. Just hit 3,000 strikeouts. He's coming off that high. I think that little prop of getting Christian Yelich a homer plus 650, definitely interesting. We've been talking so much about it, we might as well do it. Eye on the enemy.
Nobody likes them.
Craig Counsell returning to American Family Field.
We all want to see them lose.
It's not my job to tell people how to feel about something or even to figure it out. Let people feel how they want to feel, and I'm good with that. and I think it doesn't have to be all positive.
It's time to eye up the enemy for today's game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Clayton Kershaw on the bump for LA today. And everyone in the lineup with a little bit of experience, actually, against Clayton Kershaw, other than Isaac Collins, batting 7th today in the Brewers lineup. Sal Frelick 0 for 4 in his career. Lefty-on-lefty matchup, not kind to Sal Frelick. William Contreras 3 for 7, has a home run in his career off of Clayton Kershaw. That's a 429 average, by the way, for all you math guys. Jackson Churio is 1 for 3 in his career. Andrew Vaughn as well, 1 for 3. And then no hits after that part of the lineup. Bryce Terang, 0 for 3. Andrew Monasterio, 0 for 0, has a walk. Joey Ortiz, 0 for 2 in his time against Clayton Kershaw. And it'll obviously be the first time anyone is facing Jacob Mizorowski in the order as well. Must watch first pitch. Must watch. Jacob Mizorowski, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, Mizorowski's probably going to throw 102 and Shohei's going to swing at it. I mean, that's going to be electric just to see what happens. Maybe the best player in baseball, we'll call it how it is. And Jacob Mizorowski right away, first pitch. Stop listening if you are in the parking lot right now. Make sure you are in your seat for the first pitch as Jacob Mizorowski toes the slab for the Milwaukee Brewers. That is eye on the enemy, everyone's career against Clayton Kershaw in the Brewers lineup. Coming up, let's talk to Andrew Wagner of Forbes Sports. He'll join us on the other side of this break. It is the Leadoff Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 up in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Sign your kids up now for July open tryouts at focusbaseball.com, ages 6 to 17.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the 1250 AM, 1057 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Before we get over to Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports, let me run down the Milwaukee Brewers lineup one last time for you guys here today. Sal Frelick is in right field. He will lead things off. William Contreras, the catcher, bats second. Jackson Churio in center field will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth today. Andrew Vaughn, the first baseman, batting fifth. Isaac Collins in left field, bats sixth. Bryce Terang at second base will bat seventh. Andrew Monasterio, the third baseman, batting eighth. Joey Ortiz, back in the lineup, rounds things out. He is the shortstop and batting ninth. Joining the show now, as he does each and every day on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law Offices. You can find his work at Forbes Sports, at The Fan Milwaukee. It is Drew Wagner. Follow him on Twitter at @ByAndrewWagner. Drew, I am actually currently wearing a Detroit Tigers hat, in which I purchased for a Magnum PI costume. And I have been prompted now. I just want to ask you, any logo in baseball that you feel like is in the elite status? Maybe it can be underrated or just your favorite in general. No M and the B, no Brewers necessary. If you could go any other ball club with your logo that you enjoy the most, put you on the spot, which one comes to mind first, Drew?
Dodgers, I think, is iconic. I like that the Yankees has never changed.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the Mets have the classic New York Giants style NY. I think the Dodgers is probably the most iconic. The Yankees are right there with them. Detroit's is pretty cool. I like the Twins' old TC.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty dope. I've been well stated in my opinion that I hate the ball and glove logo. I am so over it.
Okay.
I've never liked it. My favorite Brewers hat of all time is the second version of they call it the Motor Bane. So the one they wore from 97 to 99.
Yeah.
When it was just the M, the Germanic M. That's my all-time favorite.
Okay. All right. Good to know. I don't think that's a hot take. I like the 90s logos a lot more than I think the common man does, but I feel like that's also like a hipster, if you will, take for a Brewers fan. Drew Wagner joining the Leadoff Show. Drew, let's start things off with yesterday real quick. Freddie Peralta, after finding out he is an all-star, he puts up that performance for the Milwaukee Brewers against maybe the best lineup in baseball. Talk about that performance from Freddie, and how do you feel now that he is officially getting into Major League Baseball ace territory, as opposed to just he's the best pitcher on the Brewers?
It's such a subjective term. Again, like the way that I see ace is this is the guy that you know that if he's taking the mound, your losing streak is probably going to end. Your bullpen's going to get a day off. He's going to make it look easy. Like, I still think of Clayton Kershaw as an ace, even though he's not putting up the same numbers. Ace is a mentality. He is your stopper. He is the guy where when things aren't going right, it's okay because this guy's in the mound and he's CC Sabathia, 2008.
Yeah.
That's what I think of as an ace, when you just knew this guy is going to get it done.
Yeah, I know. Hard to judge it based on that.
It's Freddie. It's not a knock on Freddie. It's just he is by far, the number one pitcher on this staff. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I think for a true ace, there's another level to it. And we've seen flashes of it. We just haven't seen him do it consistently and for extended periods of time.
Yeah, I appreciate that you have a very high standard for ace. That's fair, too. I understand if that's very fair and very hard to come by from you. I can totally understand that. Drew, how about Andrew Vaughn yesterday making a loud impact? That was great to watch, but also then some news coming today with that. Rhys Hoskins, I don't think anyone was anticipating it to be this long of an injury. How big do you think that can impact the Milwaukee Brewers over this time if he is expected to be out pretty much at least a month, maybe a month and a half now at this rate?
Yeah, it's disappointing because I've seen the stuff on Twitter where people are like, oh, big loss, big loss. Yeah, well, it is a big loss because granted the guy has been slumping. He's also proven that he can get on a hot stretch and just go on a tear, go on an absolute heater for a week at a time. And it usually tends to happen when the rest of the lineup is slumping.
Yeah.
And his presence in the lineup, you have to take into account what he can do, even if he's not doing it at that point. It's a big loss. I mean, he's a big part of his team, whether you're seeing the numbers or not.
Yeah, what about on the clubhouse side, Drew? It seems like he's such a vocal leader just based on the outsider perspective, but is that going to be an impact on his clubhouse presence just with not being in the lineup?
He's still going to be, he's still going to be part of the team. He's still going to be with the team. He's still going to be rehabbing with the team, working with the team. He'll still be traveling with them for the most part. He'll be around, so I don't think you can lose the aspect of it. It's a blow to the lineup, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for a guy like Andrew Vaughn to come out and show, hey, you know what? I've got something here to prove. I'm still a former first-round pick. I'm still a feared slugger. Like, he has a chance now to play his way into the Brewers' future plans and to make himself an integral part of this lineup.
Drew Wagner joining the leadoff show. Follow him on Twitter @ByAndrewWagner. Find his work at Forbes Sports and at the Fan Milwaukee. Drew, let's talk about today. And you asked this question to the manager, Pat Murphy, in the sound you sent over earlier. Thank you for that. Jacob Misiorowski, how many eyes are on him, maybe just in the clubhouse on the coaching staff today? Because he gets roughed up his last time, had the big inning against the New York Mets, and now it's your first test of adversity, right, for the young pitcher. And with a healthy Nestor Cortez looking in the rear view, and obviously Robert Gasser now beginning a rehab assignment. Not sure how he fits in on the team, but definitely another viable option for Milwaukee. How big is today for Jacob Misiorowski in your eyes after hearing what Pat Murphy had to say, how big the opportunity is?
I think it's just an opportunity. You can't. They're all big, at this point in his career. They're all big moments. They're all big opportunities. He can't control what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. The only thing he can control is how well he goes out there and pitches and how well he goes out there and prepares. I think a guy in his position understands that roster mechanics don't always work out in the way you want them to. I think he's fully cognizant of that. I think he's also fully cognizant that, he is still in a position where they are going to manage his workload as much as humanly possible. I think he's aware of all that too. But I think at the end of the day, the only thing he is thinking about and should be thinking about is just going out there and trying to figure out how to get outs against this Los Angeles Dodgers lineup, because that in and of itself is a big enough job. And you can't take all that outside stuff onto the mound with you against a lineup like that. It's hard enough as it is. You don't need any more distractions.
Drew, did we ever get any clarification on why his velo might have been just a little bit down in the last outing? We saw him touch 100 in the beginning of the game, and then it really faltered from there. He had an extra day rest. It was 6 days compared to what a usual 5 might be. Is that something that they're going to monitor again to see where the velo is at after the last start? It just wasn't the same, and you could tell by watching.
I meant to ask that one today, but there were a lot of people in there, so I didn't get in all the questions I had. I mean, they're always going to want this velo. If it would have been a sizable drop, I think it would have been something more noteworthy. It could very well be that he realized he doesn't need to throw every pitch 100 miles an hour. Sometimes taking a little bit off is the way to go to get a little bit more command of it. And that could very easily have been the case. He could have been out there and realized, I'm lighting up the radar gun, but I'm missing my spots. Maybe I need to tone it back just a little bit and focus more on hitting spots. That kind of thing happens. Sometimes inadvertently. Sometimes when you're struggling, you get out of your mechanics. Maybe you lose a little bit of velo. I don't think it's anything to be worried about. If he's losing like 10 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, okay, now you start to look a little bit. But because everything else was normal and where it should be, and the fastball was just down a couple of ticks, I don't think it's anything earth-shattering at this point.
Drew, you also asked about, you at least mentioned, whoever might have asked, about Caleb Durbin's no presence in the lineup, but you then mentioned Pat Murphy loves everyone a different way, right? And it seems like just after Joey Ortiz might have left the doghouse with Pat Murphy, that Caleb Durbin is at least sniffing that territory. Did you get that vibe as well when that question was asked in the pregame? And how do you feel about Pat Murphy doing that publicly and, just making it out there for the people to know that, hey, we're expecting something else from Caleb Durbin, and this is the message we want to send with it?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I don't know if it means so much that he's in the doghouse or maybe more the fact that they have some options there now in terms of Siegler where they can go a different direction. And listen, I have no problem with Murph calling guys out. He's not trying to crap on these guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's easy to get complacent, especially at this point of the year, especially when, you're young and all of a sudden things start going really good for you at the plate and you're starting to get results. It's easy to get complacent and miss some of those little things.
Do you think with an absence of Hoskins that could ramp up some trade talking, or do you think it's harder now because you have one less guy that could be available if you were going to make any moves before this deadline at the end of the month?
It's hard to say. I mean, you never know how these things work. We still don't know for sure who's selling and who's buying.
Yeah.
And, there's still some close races there. You don't know who's going to be available in the market. I think the next 2 weeks are going to tell the Brewers where they're at and what they truly need as they go into that final stretch.
He is Drew Wagner. Follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. His work at Forbes Sports and at the Fan Milwaukee as well. Drew, enjoy the game today, my friend. Have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.
Sounds like a plan.
There he is, Drew Wagner, joining the leadoff show each and every day. His work, again, at Forbes Sports. And, of course, follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. We are 3 of the 4 heads of Mount Rushmore. If you are not following me on Twitter @TommyWSSP, 3 of the 4 heads of the Drew Wagner Mount Rushmore of tweets has been completed right now. It's an all-time great memory right now to follow along with on what Drew Wagner's Twitter is, because you never know what you're going to get on any given day.
How does the Crew win today's game? Who needs to step up? Let's find out with the keys to the game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Keys to the game today, it is all about Jacob Misiorowski again. I can't not put him in keys to the game whenever he pitches. I just want to watch Jacob Misiorowski 100 times over. I don't want to watch the Brewers bat today. I want to watch Jacob Misiorowski pitch. After he comes out, yeah, sure, I'll start watching the bats. But it's just so much more fun to watch him bounce back. Today is the first test on how you can bounce back and face some adversity after having a rough outing his last time out against the Mets. It doesn't get any easier. There's no breaks for Jacob Misiorowski. How about the best lineup in baseball? How about the best player in baseball as your first batter you have to face after that outing you just had against the New York Mets? Jacob Misiorowski, bounce back. Five innings, 2 runs, 3 runs, maybe 5, 6 strikeouts in that time. Let's see something where you can bounce back. Jacob Misiorowski, you are today's key to the game. That's going to do it for us here on the Leadoff Show. Make sure you guys check out all your favorite fan programming wherever you may be on the Odyssey app. And, of course, you can watch us now on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@thefanmilwaukee. There is literally almost 100 videos. I think we will hit 100 videos up there tomorrow. Plenty of content you can go over, plenty to indulge in. There is so much going on over at the YouTube page right now. Every guest that you have ever heard someone talk about now since June 18th, I believe, when we launched this, it's up on YouTube. Go watch it. Tomorrow, it gets even better on the Green with Mason Crosby at 9:45. That'll be a fun one to listen to. Camille Davis will join Andy Herman on the Pack-A-Day radio show at 8:20. That's going to be fun. Jim Ozarski as well going to jump on the Mason Crosby show at 9:20. It is the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz been here with you for the last hour and a half or so. Game number 2 of the series between the Dodgers and the Brewers set to begin at 6:40 today, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Oh, don't forget, before you leave, send them home.